A reaction is being forged by Man United and Ruben Amorim as they try to salvage what seems to be a terrible season, the worst probably, but Amorim is saying not under my watch, as now talks have begun between Man United and Lecce for the left back or wing back, that is Patrick Dorgu, the Danish international. Talks are ongoing and they are believed to be advanced. I've been telling you about this boy for weeks now and how Man United do consider him, rate him highly, and feel they can convince him to join the biggest football club in the world, at least if pedigree is anything to go by. Welcome to the Network Sport. You can call this a breaking update. It depends on how you look at it, but for me, it's a major one because after that terrible performance against Brighton, we always were expecting to see a reaction. I told you guys several times that expect a major signing for Man United. Now, it's not done yet. It is not done, but the talks are on. But I'm telling you, the details of this deal cannot be so difficult for Man United. This is a player who Lecce got for about from North Zealand for about 200,000 euros. Really, they can sell him at up to 15 million pounds. That's absolute profit for them. This is the boy they got for their academy. So certainly for me, it's a deal that Man United should be able to get through if the player is fit and is good. If he's the profile that Ruben Amorim feels fits the club, certainly he's a player who will come in there and be signed. It will happen without a shadow of a doubt. So what about Dorgu? What exactly makes him the player that Amorim is looking to bring in first this January? First of all, we told you already that with Nuno Mendes, who was probably the first priority, it's not happening. He backed out of a possible move, but United as well perhaps do not have the resources needed to get a pricey player like Nuno Mendes out of Paris Saint-Germain. So what then does that mean? Dorgu, a cheaper option, is there. But Dorgu, for me, is even a better option. He's only 20, like I told you. That's one. But he's a powerful, energetic player who can play both as a left back on the left-hand side of the central defense or the back three, but also as a wing back. He can also play as a wing back. The thing about his game is his ability to cut into the middle, invert himself into the middle, and still play progressive football. You realize that a problem we have at Man United currently is, and I've seen people complain about how Amorim plays with so many defenders and stuff, it's because he doesn't have the options. But his wing backs are supposed to be wingers naturally. They are supposed to be attack-minded players, but he doesn't have them. That's why at times he has played Ahmad as a wing-back on the right, because that's the kind of a player, because Ahmad is an attack-minded player who he trains now to give contribution to contribute defensively. Those are the wing backs that Amorim wants to play with. Now, what Dorgu gives you is that he gives you a lot going forward. Whereas he can also give you a lot defensively, he can also give you a lot going forward, and he knows how to use the ball. Beautiful dribbler from deep, can run through bodies, but he's also direct and progressive with a few goals to his feet as well. He's a player that properly suits the profile that Amorim wants to build at Man United. So all these are solutions to try and salvage a season that seems to be going so bad for him. So Dorgu is a proper target. He's I think certainly a player like Dorgu would be interested in joining Man United. There was talk that Liverpool as well were monitoring him, and they could have perhaps come in with a bid for themselves. But I think the urgency for them is not as it is for Man United. But also in terms of him as a player, 20-year-old kid, and how he plays with a fullback and a wing back, you want to play under a coach who loves wing backs, and that's Amorim for you. So I think for me, it shouldn't be a difficult or a complicated deal for Man United to pull through. He's not your big name marquee signing. He's an opportunity on the market that is a bit underrated. He's not, there's no, proper bidding war per se. So for me, I want players like that, and these are the kind of players that Amorim and is expected to keep bringing in, because Ineos do not want to go into the already made players. They want young players like this, get them for cheap, mold them into great players, and after 2-3 seasons, sell them for big fee to Madrid and PSG and all these other big clubs that will want to sign big players. So this is for me the start of what Ineos are trying to do with Man United in terms of changing and reshaping the direction. I said it here, I think last night, the areas that need improvement, we've always known them really, but the left back and left wing back departments are so lacking at Man United. And never mind having signed the boy from Cerro Porteño in Diego Leo. The truth is this is a more senior player. This is a signing that comes in there to proper give a solution to the senior team, replacing Dalot, who has been inverted for a long time. He has been switched on the right and on the left. Dalot will then have to perhaps add to to the defenders, because that should be his natural position, or perhaps try his luck as a right wing back. But for now, or even go on the bench and be a deputy for Patrick Dorgu. So it's a beautiful update. I think it's energizing. That's what it does. It's energizing. It gets us out of that fear. The fear we're sunk in after that shocking loss to Brighton, if it was shocking to you anyway. But I think the manner in which it came is what was shocking. But I think it's positive, it's progressive, and I like the fact that United seem to be quite advanced in this deal. They seem to be quite advanced in the talks. So, before we get ahead of ourselves, because the deal is not done yet, and I mean, with Man United, there are no guarantees. But at the start, I just showed you why you should have hope, why this shouldn't be a rocket science deal to pull off, because the boy is cheap, he's young, he's needed. There is need, is a solution. So he will look at himself as, this is success for me in my career. Of course, there are no guarantees of whether he will shine or not, because this is Man United. But I think the trust I have in Amorim and his system, because usually coaches who play that particular system know the players they want. If you are coaching that system, you would know you won't gamble. You would know the players who directly fit into your system, because it's sort of a unique system that's not for everyone. So my view is that by the time they zero down on Patrick Dorgu as the first priority to bring in there to solve a glaring problem, they know he certainly fits whichever boxes that they want to tick for a player to come in. So for me, I've got no disquest about him. Of course, there are people who will want to look at him as a cheap player, so meaning he's not good enough, and da 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 da. But you forget Man United is at a point where there's not so much money to spend. These 15 million, 20 million euro players are the players that United couldn't be able to sign. But also, you look at the last transfer window, and one of our best signings, I think, was Mazraoui, save of course for the deep in form in the few games, which happens. A player cannot be performing at topmost level all the time. But the thing is, he was probably the cheapest player we bought in the summer. Yet he's probably one of the best we have. And he's a bit old. This is a young player we're talking about. So for me, I think it's a worthy investment. I look at it as both a good investment, both for the short term and the long time. On the long term, in the short term, he's solving an immediate problem, but also in the long term, he can grow into a player who, at 23 or 24, or even 25, Man United can sell and get other better players, because that's where now we want to go. That's where Ineos wants to take us. If we are going to pay off the big debts we have and stuff, we've got to keep selling, building players and sell them at a profit, and then buy others and pay debts and, make money through player sales and all that. So for me, that's a worthy investment. It's a worthy story. It's a worthy update, but it is the start of many more to come. I don't think this will be the end of it. I'll be here, of course, to follow the story. Turn on your notification bell. Of course, I'll be here giving you every minute, every update about how it's progressing. But trust you me, like I've been telling you, this week is deal week. But away from him, more players are expected to come in. Already we're having Anthony leaving. We're having all these players heading out. Anthony is already done, agreed with Rio Betis. So this is what was keeping Man United. Let go of players before you bring in new ones. So Anthony is leaving. We know that Casemiro is on his way out, probably this week as well. We'll get a confirmation of Casemiro. Same with Rashford. Perhaps a proper decision on Garnacho if a good deal comes, because what we hear is that the Napoli director is about to meet Man United again with an improved bid of about £60 million, I think. So you expect that when the departures keep flowing, they keep increasing, new arrivals will come. The thing, though, is that there is only about 10 or 11 days to the end of the transfer window. So everything has got to be compacted into a week or so, because the games come thick and fast. The window it can disappear within days. It's done. So you've got to do your business quick. At least for me, I think this is a good update, because things are being done now. We are seeing progress being made. But that's the reaction we are all hoping for. For me, at least, we are not resting on our laurels. We are working to find solutions that are so many, but yeah, baby steps will always get us there. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Beautiful update. Patrick Dorgu, quite a baller. And of course, do remember, Dogeles is the other player United was linked with. What will happen with Dogeles? We'll talk about him. For now, it's Dorgu time, fam. It's Dorgu time.